Achoo!
And we live.
Or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm partially dead, as you know. Yeah.
Undead. Undead.
Hey, we're Ray and Dee of Herpetology of the Apocalypse, a Homestuck commentary.
This is part 2, hopefully the final, of Sweet Bro and Helloooooo.
It'll come up later and things, but hopefully this is the last of the comics and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. I have not finished reading a Simulacra and Simulation by Baudrillard. I got a good chunk done. It was very interesting, but I didn't finish it, and we'll probably speak more about it later as I get more chunks done.
Yes. It will probably be useful for the entirety of Homestuck, if we're being honest here.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that I scoped up this time, I was like, okay, so everywhere that Baudrillard starts talking about how to move past the mess that is being made in the hyperreal stuff looks and sounds a lot like Homestuck. Again, it could be just a cultural thing and not necessarily he read the document and was like, yes, let's do that.
But either way, it has been an influence.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to say before we shoot off?
I do.
Okay.
I'll try to keep it brief because we got a lot of comics to get through. The author says God is hyperreal.
The author being Homestuck's author?
Sorry. Or Baudrillard.
Okay.
Simulacra and Simulation. The idea of God's hyperreal, it doesn't ever actually point to anything that exists, only to other signs that God supposedly exists, which point to other signs, etc. Nostalgia, a lesser kind of simulation, because it points to a past that didn't actually exist, but that we agree that it did. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is like when I was making Ecto Cooler, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is pretty accurate because it doesn't actually taste good. It doesn't taste the way that I remember it actually. Like, I want it to be better than this, but this is probably about right. Okay, so this is kind of like just a core idea. Dissimulation and simulation.
Okay.
Dissimulation means lying.
Okay.
And so it's like a little kid who says, he dissimulates being sick by going, I'm sick. Are you sick? I'm sick. Okay. Simulation is like a little kid who simulates being sick and ends up producing some of the symptoms. So you go, are you sick? And the little kid goes, okay. So at some point of complexity, you can't tell the difference between real symptoms and fake ones. And the fact that you can't tell the difference destroys the idea of wellness and sickness, because there is this massive gray area that just kind of expands in the middle that's neither sick nor well, that starts to take over all meaning. And the example that Baudrillard uses is the army, because this was written back in the 80s. And he was like, yeah, the army persecutes people who pretend to be mentally ill to get out of military service, because only crazy people would pretend to be mentally ill to get out of service. But crazy people who pretend to be mentally ill to get out of service deserve to be punished. So it doesn't matter whether somebody's actually crazy or whether they're pretending. They are crazy and they get punished. So now, instead of being people who are sick should be taken and should be helped, it's now people who are sick should be punished. Like, whack is a good term for that. Okay, there's more about Watergate in there.
Something Dee and I had been discussing inside the car.
But I'm gonna leave that mostly alone. There's a good quote here that I was like, this is relevant to current times.
Okay.
And this is the one that I talked to you about.
Okay.
Power can stage its own murder to rediscover a glimmer of existence and legitimacy. Such was the case with some American presidents. The Kennedys were murdered because they still had a political dimension. The others, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, only had the right to phantom attempts, to simulated murders. But this aura of an artificial menace was still necessary to conceal that they were no longer anything but the mannequins of power. Formerly, the king, also the god, had to die. Therein lay his power. Today, he is miserably forced to feign death in order to preserve the blessing of power, but it is lost. Okay, so, like, I don't know if it's real or not, but traditionally we say in Western cultures that in order to be a king, in order to have the right to be a king, aside from the whole kings are sort of like gods thing and it's inherited from parent to child, whatever, the king has to be willing to die in order to have that power.
Okay.
So, like, there's like Mardi Gras, the tradition of finding the baby in the king cake is based on the idea that whoever found the bean in the original cake got to be king for a year and then got slaughtered the day before. Like, they just got killed. They only could be king for a day, and then they got killed.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's a king cake.
No,
what?
There's a version of that in Fallout 3, I think.
Okay.
They had a shelter that was basically vote for the other person to be the one who is made overseer of the shelter, and they will be going downstairs to be killed and stuff. Technically, they could opt out. The whole shelter could have opted out and stuff and just been like, who gives a shit or whatever, but they never did. Just continued on until everyone ended up dead, kind of thing. And the player can like go onto there and vote themselves and stuff, and be shot at by lots and lots of robots down there. So really, yes, every one of them was dead, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more like the myth of power. Like, traditionally, the myth of power rests on the willing to sacrifice your life for the tribe. And nowadays, people have to fake that sacrifice. Oh, I would have died for the tribe, but I just happened not to. They saved me. The Secret Service saved me from death. Yeah. Anyway, I am very conscious of certain political figures who have obviously feigned murder attempts or assassination attempts. Okay, here's another quote. This is the one about kind of pointing towards, so if you're trying to get rid of all the simulations and simulacra, here's the way to go. Parody renders submission and transgression equivalent, and that is the most serious crime because it cancels out the difference upon which the law is based. So making fun of something renders taking it seriously and trying to resist that thing seriously equivalent. And that is the most serious crime because it cancels out the difference between obeying and disobeying the law upon which the law is based. So, ran out of time. Other overall notes. Tony Hawk appears at the bottoms of all the pages. I didn't notice that till we were in the middle of, until I was in the middle of going through pages this time. If he really was missing on that milk carton in panel 8, that may mean he has, or at least his image has, been trapped at the bottom of the comic list the whole time. Tony Hawk is famously unrecognizable, as like with the fairies coming around and they're like, hey, what's your name? And then they steal your name. It's like we've stolen the identity of Tony Hawk and stuck him in the middle of Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff. That's why nobody can recognize him. Just so you know.
Okay.
Panel 8 is the first panel with the little character at the bottom that I don't know who it is, the little black and white thing that I was like, do you know who this is? And you didn't know. No. And Jeremy, shows us at the bottom right in the same position in panel 14. I was trying to figure out where I saw him. He's all over the place, and I still don't know what the hell he's there for. I'm going to talk about this later. I probably should say it later, but I won't remember it later. Anti-memes were the term was coined in 2009 with the anti-meme subreddit created in 2012. They are memes deployed to nullify or protect from other memes, or a unit of information that prevents itself from being spread. They intentionally subvert one's expectations by not including a joke. Anti-memetics are often treated as horrific, like in fiction, but in practice, they tend to be a protection against mental bullshit going on. So, the opposite of an earworm. I think these are not necessarily memes, but anti-memes for Homestuck.
Yes.
Anyway. All right. 11.
11. This is the panel or page of God, I don't know which one is which. I'm just gonna say the red one goes off to go into a grocery store buying some canned things and stuff, and the blue one is staring at the red one through the canned food shelves, and slowly, like the image of the blue one disappears into the fading background and stuff. I'm sure there's many things I could say about the actual panel itself, but in general, it reminded me of the Cask of Amontillado and stuff. Like, I know it's different. He's not sealing himself in there, but he's not sealing himself behind a giant wall of canned foods in this case.
Maybe Sweet Bro, who is the red one, is sealed in the horrific tomb of grocery store. And wherever Hella Jeff is the outside. Like, thank God we're not trapped in there with him.
Oh, God. Scary stuff. But it had gotten me onto looking at the paintings that have their eye holes cut out and stuff. That's usually used in things like Scooby-Doo and Glue and all that kind of stuff. It came about because of the Mona Lisa effect. I thought it was going to be like, haha, this is the same time as, or it came about, I thought it would have originated at the same time as Secret Doors and that kind of thing. But no, the Mona Lisa effect came first. And I was like, okay, all right, weird. And then I looked into the Mona Lisa effect, and I found out that Mona Lisa does not, in fact, have the Mona Lisa effect.
Okay, the Mona Lisa effect is the illusion that a painting is watching you, even though it's a flat painting.
Yes.
Painting. Okay.
Her eyes are apparently the wrong degree for it. She looks to the right at 15-ish degrees and stuff. But she's supposed to look forward at 0 to 5 degrees kind of thing to make it do the whole Mona Lisa effect. And I was like, whack, weird. And I was like, I think I'm just going to leave that whole thing be, and went back to the Cask of Amontillado thing because I'd remembered something else. There is a game called The Dark Eye, which was made 1995. It's basically a claymation game that is, you get to look through the stories and stuff through each of the characters' eyes. Like, in this case, you can be Amontillado or the other guy.
Amontillado is not a character name. It's
it's
a type of booze.
Yes. Anyways, you can look through both of their eyes, the one getting sealed into a tomb and the one sealing the tomb.
Montresor is the one sealing him in because the famous line is, "For the love of God, Montresor."
Yeah.
And I can't remember the idiot who gets sealed in there. But.
No. Either way, you can look through either side and stuff. And I was like, oh, neat. I remember that. Because it was...
we played that, right?
No.
I think we did. And you may not remember it. Because I remember, like, I remember being the idiot and, like, tunk, 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 bricks were sealing us in. And then the screen goes dark.
Well, I guess we
It was
will
a
have
short
to...
game. I was like, dang, this is short.
Then it's probably not what we're thinking of, or you're thinking of. We've apparently played a different Amontillado game together. I don't remember which one that is. Anyways, this one was previously had to be abandonware because of the original guys who made it. They lost the rights to it, and the people who are supposed to take it and stuff were like, who cares, and let it go off into the void and not be available for purchase. But I was looking it up, and 2026 this year, January, it's now re-available on Steam, but under a different title. Nope, that's the recording thing. It was a long-ass name. Right. Changed to Edgar Allan Poe's Interactive Horror 1995 edition. But previously the title was The Dark Eyes and stuff.
Okay, because I'm like, it was part of an anthology too.
Anyways, shenanigans. Got it.
Yeah, I was weirded out by it because I had never played any kind of visual novel or anything. And I was like, this isn't a game. There's not really any choices. There's nothing to do. It's just illustrating a story. And I was offended by the whole thing.
Okay, this is claymation and not a visual novel at all.
It's not a visual novel. It's just that I'd never played a game like a visual novel that wasn't just a game. Or having a game puzzle, some sort of puzzleness to it.
So I'm going to write in the notebook.
It wasn't claymation, though.
No.
Now that I think of it, it was like cut out paper moving around or something like that.
I still have zero idea. I'm going to have to look this up later.
Yeah, I don't remember. But the fact of seeing things from multiple perspectives reminds me a lot of the Akira Kurosawa movie Rashomon, which is about three characters telling three versions of the same story. And the frame story to that is two people telling stories to each other at a big gate in a horrible rainstorm.
A favorite of yours for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the overall thing for that called again?
What?
The big story that held the little ones.
Frame.
Yeah. No. What is the specific name? Not overall name. Rashomon.
Okay. Yeah. Like I think there's a term called the Rashomon effect. It is a load-bearing trope.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
But that was mostly what I had to say on that panel.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to say on it?
Yeah, 11. I actually... Okay, so when I started out trying to find the patterns in this, I was coloring my notes with different colors to group them all together. And I labeled this one as the beginning of the nacho party.
Oh, okay.
Because he's buying beans. What are the beans for? Right after that is nachos. And I'm like, well, you don't normally make nachos with beans, but you can. The title is, it's got Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, and underneath it goes, in quotes, SBAHJ goes shopping, which is a kind of Looney Tunes way of titling sitcom episodes. There are parentheses and quotes in that. The parentheses close, but the quotes don't, which kind of means that we're just loosely in the open quotation marks for the rest of ever. Or we're not. It's hard to say. Maybe it's an error, maybe it's intentional. It's Andrew Hussey, so I'm sure it's intentional on some level, but what level? The intention, I suspect, is to be discordant. And it's called SBAHJ, so Sweet Bro and small letter H, HJ. So maybe it's Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. Don't know.
Hiding Hella Jeff.
Jeremy is at the beginning. He signals just kind of a distraction, maybe. And sometimes Sweet Bro, Bread, is wearing pants and sometimes a onesie. I was like, pants?
Yeah, he's wearing pants.
He has pants when he falls down the stairs, but he doesn't always have pants.
Yeah.
And as the series goes on, like the characters degrade. They've been degrading in like, here's the JPEG of the JPEG of the JPEG of the JPEG, right? But they've also been going from more, call them Control-Alt-Delete versions to chibi versions, kind of towards the end. And the onesie is kind of a middle stage. The cans. Okay, so trying to find groceries, he quickly becomes overwhelmed by the artificial choices of beans versus beans.
Beans.
Everything's all gray without advertising.
Yeah.
So he can no longer tell which beans he should get, because if you only get, like, if all the beans on the inside are the same, which beans do you get? Hypothetically, any beans will do, but we're so coached in advertising that it's like, if you don't know which brand of beans it is, how will you know what kind is your brand?
Yeah.
Right? So,
and admittedly, sometimes that's important, but other times it's just
sometimes it's substantive, like say you have gluten intolerance and you get the kind with no gluten. That's important.
Yeah, but like kosher pickles versus other types of pickles, I think. Oh, no, mayo we've been talking about, and was like, this specific brand of mayo does a different flavor than this other brand.
Oh, yeah. Salad cream versus mayo versus I forget what else.
Yeah.
But they're not just brands, they're flavors of mayo, whatever.
Yeah.
But beans are beans and beans and beans are beans. You can't legally really do much to them other than add other flavors.
Yeah.
Presumably, okay, so he confronts the manager about which beans to buy. And then we stop seeing Sweet Bro for a while, and Hella Jeff notes that the cops are involved, and Hella Jeff can't believe what he made happen. And I was like, well, I could believe that Sweet Bro got arrested for being mean to the manager or disrupting things or whatever. What I couldn't believe is that he actually dismantled capitalism. So, Hella Jeff can't believe what he made happen. I was like, what? Destroy capitalism? Then Hella Jeff disappears into the walls of cans and stuff. All of the cans that Hella Jeff disappears into have brands. Okay. That's all I got for 11. Which is a lot, but still.
Yes.
12.
Sorry, I'm staring at this and going, wow, that's a weird gradient. Like, there's orange up here, and it goes into a neon
what
yellow.
What panel are you on?
This is still 11.
Okay. So at the bottom of the panel where he's fading into the cans, you're looking at the gradient where?
The background here, there's yellow, and then it goes orange, which we can see right here, and then it goes up into nothingness.
Okay.
So, just very odd gradient.
Okay. I think you're fastening on something,
yes.
And I'm just going to let you do that.
Okay.
12.
I did not have anything to say other than Nancho.
Nancho Party, Part 1.
Yes.
Okay, so instead of descending stairs with his normal stack of games, he is now descending stairs. Sweet Bro is descending stairs with a paper container of nachos. And in the middle of the pile of nachos appears to be like a distorted hamburger. So I don't think that's actually nachos. Like if you zoom in real close, you're like, what the hell is that? That's a circle shape. Like it's a bagel with something in the middle, but it's not nachos. I don't know. In the second panel, Sweet Bro has something in his teeth, and I'm also not sure what the hell that is.
Oh. His teeth are just see-through. You're just seeing the panel behind him.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
His mouth is a window.
Yes.
In the second panel, no, something in his teeth. Behind him is Hella Jeff, who bumps him from behind, possibly knocking him down the stairs. That bastard. The nachos fold and become distorted, just like they do in the screen with the milk carton. And it's got at the bottom to be continued with a bunch of asterisks of lines of differing lengths instead of ellipses, like to be continued ...
Yeah.
The rows of asterisks are actually, I don't know if this is conscious or intentional or something, but they are kind of set up the same way that the rows of asterisks are in Alice in Wonderland, the second book, Through the Looking Glass. The overall conceit of the book is that there's a giant chess game being played across Wonderland. Each scene is in a different chess square. And every time Alice jumps from one chess square to another, even if it's not at a scene break, there are lines of asterisks. So I was like, I had no idea, but it just reminded me. Because I couldn't find any chess patterns except for there's chess mentioned later. Maybe this is all a chess game. I can't figure it
out. Side note,
all right.
I just was looking at this and I was like, this vaguely, like the asterisk or that ellipses and stuff, or asterisks, they kind of look like stairs, so it's back again to the whole falling down the stairs thing, except this time it's ...
Yep, they do look like stairs.
Yeah, especially with a singular dot and another singular dot in between the two, so like something is falling down them at that point. Yeah,
okay. 13. You want to start or you want me?
Have at it.
This is Nacho Panty Part 2. The nachos begin to fall, but they don't complete the act of following, which is kind of like Zeno's paradox, which is Achilles, I think, fires an arrow. It travels half the distance to its target, and then it travels half the distance that's remaining in half and half and half. So therefore, it never reaches its target. It's a test of logic. Okay, but the nachos never fall. There's a recipe section at the end. It's all distorted, but I did manage to track it down because, of course, I did. The recipe comes from Campbell's Soup. It mentions Campbell's cheddar cheese soup. I found the equivalent recipe to drop into comments later. The original recipe wasn't on the Campbell site. It was somewhere else, food.com. The Campbell, and I was like, compared the ingredients back and forth. So the food.com one is actually the same recipe that's copied over. The one on Campbell's site, they replaced cheddar cheese soup, which they still make, with a new product, Pace's nacho cheese sauce.
Okay.
Because apparently people are like, you can't put cheddar cheese soup in Mexican food. So they had to like rebrand it and rename it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be exactly the same thing with maybe like some spices in it. Okay. Also to note, I made nachos this week because reading this stuff, I was like, nachos. Yeah. But I made bitter ones. And they were green chili nachos, and they were very good. And I wrote down the recipe so you can put that on the site later.
Thank you. You also called them to yourself nachos based off of this.
Yes, I started saying everything was nachos. And so I kept trying to write it into the phone because I was like, oh yeah, nacho party, da 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 da. And half the time it left it as nacho, and half the time it changed it to nacho. So now I'm like, simulcrum and simulcra. Is it nacho or nacho? Is it nacho or nacho? I don't know. It's cheddar cheese soup, okay?
Okay.
That's all I have for that.
So before I get into the thing that I majorly wanted to talk about this one,
okay.
The one, it's using the actual speech bubble, but worded over thing, and then.
Okay, so Sweet Bro at the beginning uses an actual bubble as a speech bubble.
From previous time, but now edited over. But then we look down over to here, and we have red for Sweet Bro, and again, blue. Still technically on him, but I do think that it's just...
Whoa. Yeah. One of the speech bubbles is red for Sweet Bro, and then one of the speech bubbles for Sweet Bro is blue. Okay.
Yes. I think it's a situation of Hella Jeff is speaking through Sweet Bro in that section rather than actually... Okay. Kind of thing.
But a confusion of identity has occurred.
Yes. Okay. But the thing that I wanted to talk about with this, there's a old Tumblr post that's no longer being circulated around anymore.
Unless it is, because that's Tumblr.
Yes.
All right.
There's a screenshot of it that did not get the full thing of it. It's the the meme of guy sprinkling salt, except that he's instead sprinkling pineapple.
Okay.
And it's being thrown into the trash, and then that trash is being reversed to put it onto pizza. That pizza is being thrown away, and then the raccoons eat the pizza and then die. Now, there's further stuff from there. This is very much not the end of that, but that's the longest version of screenshot version that I could find easily.
Okay.
It's basically this huge thing, internet-wide debate of the whole, do you put pineapple on pizza? And this was a whole, no, we refuse to have it, but yes, it's so good kind of situation. And they were doing it non-verbally, just using images to go back and forth. But using these images and stuff, they kind of replicated, well, maybe Homestuck replicated, but I think it was this replicated that kind of thing. Or, yeah. But the same way that the nachos are infinitely falling and stuff, the pineapple is infinitely falling and stuff in this. And I was like, I guess this is meme recreating meme again. But I don't think it was actually intentional in this case.
Memeception.
Yes.
Memeception. Okay.
Yeah. That was what I had on that.
Yep. That's good. 14.
This is part 2 of the nacho party. Part 3 of the nacho party.
Ready?
Yes.
Nacho party, part 3. The entirety of part 2 is printed inside of part 3, but shrunk and turned on the side. Sweet Bro says to take a picture, it'll last longer. So Hella Jeff literally takes a picture of the still falling nachos. Inside the comic, the images of the nachos keep degrading and becoming copy of a copy of a copy. But the image that Hella Jeff takes of the nachos becomes immaculately reproduced Doritos. Not nachos, just Doritos.
Yeah.
Maybe nacho flavored Doritos. Okay.
They're also in a different organization than the falling nachos as well.
Yes. Hella Jeff says he was right. This shit's lasting forever. And then a picture of Jeremy appears in the bottom right corner of the image. No idea about that. Yeah. I'll have more to say about the Doritos in the next one.
Okay. It kind of feels like these nachos are irradiated or some kind, because as the panel goes down further and further and further, it looks as though everything is degrading worse and worse and worse, especially when he takes the picture. The nachos are perfectly immaculate, but he himself has degraded to the point of where his face is just a giant flesh wall for a panel kind of thing. It just... freaky. Sorry, I don't have much to actually say on this panel or this page.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I just misremembered which was on which side. Okay. 15?
Yeah.
All right. Nacho party. Part next one. It doesn't actually say part 4 on there anywhere, just part next one. Hella Jeff has apparently retreated to the bathroom to photograph the nachos. The second panel of Sweet Bro looks like a different style. He's got different facial hair, just different art going on there. I'm just not sure what's up with that.
He looks Super Saiyan in his hair.
Hella Jeff's bathroom is isometric and he has no arms, a la Homestuck.
And he's standing in the bathtub.
All of the labeled elements in the bathroom seem to be items that are disintegrating or are otherwise wrecked. Sweet Bro demands nachos, and Hella Jeff slides the advertising image version, the Doritos, under the door, which is a picture, but apparently satisfies the need for nachos. They have to be a flat image because otherwise they wouldn't slide under the door.
At least not that easily. It'd go...
At the end, Hella Jeff wants to know what's up with Sweet Bro and says, Heg got broadside, school fed up the bone bulge. And for some reason, I was like, that rhythm almost reminds me of the Beatles song Come Together, which we'll probably have to link to because I don't want to take the risk of quoting Beatles lyrics out loud. But anyway, the song was sort of written about Timothy Leary, who was a big proponent of LSD back in the day and who was running for governor of California.
Mm.
Come Together was supposed to be his trippy campaign song, and it's full of nonsense lyrics. And one of the lines that's kind of like repeated sounds very much like he got broadside school, fed up the bone bulge. It's not quite the same rhythm, but it's pretty dang close.
Okay.
So I was like, is this pointing back to a Beatles song?
Wait, sorry, side note. Aren't the Beatles British? What were they doing trying to get like the Californian stuff?
Dude. That's a whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm probably going to screw this up. Actual Beatles historians are going to be like, amateur professional. They're going to be slapping me around. Anyway, the rough story is, so the Beatles are these British guys that come from kind of a poor background. There's some personnel switches as they get hired on to be like part of a music record label. One of the guys leaves. They replace the drummer. So then they start becoming stars. They're all over the place. There are women throwing pennies at them. They're making movies about running away from their fans, and the fans are like, yes, we love this movie. Things get more and more self-referential as they go on. And then all of a sudden they haul off in 1968 and go to India, basically to join a cult. Okay. I'm not shitting you. This happens. No. They basically go to India, join a cult. George Harrison kind of stays sucked into that vibe and eventually writes the one of the songs on the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie that's about like the main character and his godlike dad, and it gets used for that. So like he was way into that trippy godhead shit. Everybody else kind of varied. They came back to the US 1969, make this other album. They're taking tons of drugs, lots of LSD, because that was also kind of part of the counterculture hippie movement stuff that they picked up over in India. They bring that stuff back here. It spreads like wildfire. The summer of '69, they make an album called Abbey Road that features the Come Together song. They're supporting Timothy Leary because he's also on drugs and saying hippie ass shit. And California is the center of the hippie ass shit. So it all kind of connects together, but it's just all like, hey, a bunch of druggies got together and did nutty things. They were like, we saw God. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, the whole LSD spreading because of them. That kind of reminds me of here's an animal being introduced to a new environment and wrecking that environment completely.
Kudzu.
Or apparently American cacti in Australia. Yeah.
Invasive species.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something. There's definitely something to that. When all of the hippies came back from India, one of the things they brought with them was not just the whole woo, I can see God, but like the whole metaphysics. And the way that they thought about metaphysics was so fucking weird that it drifted over to physics. And so we get a lot of the quantum physics stuff comes from Indian ideas. Their paradigms, like their cultural paradigms, translated to a lot of weird physics shit. And so like a lot of the times when Indian students came over to the US for a while, they brought with them their religious stuff, but they also brought with them their knowledge of physics. And so you have a lot of people from India who are fucking genius physicists now because their paradigm coming over here is a invasive species. Because the Western paradigm couldn't cope with a certain level of its subatomic structure and was like, how can you see something and not see at the same time? And in India, they're like, dude, we've been dealing with for like 2,000 years the idea of the real not being real. We have experience in this shit. And we can actually manipulate it on a numbers level and not just a woo-woo religious level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. I don't know what. Well, I know why we got off on that tangent, but holy cow, I was not expecting to go there today.
Here's us doing that.
Jazz hands.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, ba-dum, dum. No, that was for the next one.
16, Christmas.
Christmas. Oh, okay, then maybe not the next one. All right.
I have the movie pulled out at the end because I forgot it existed until I scanned back through the list of episodes. So if you have the movie listed somewhere, just let me know.
No.
Okay.
I said my piece from before and stuff. The whole hey, who did the music stuff last time? Yeah.
All right. And for me, the movie was just an assemblage of the most relevant memes. I didn't get much more out of it than otherwise existed. So we're going to skim past that.
Okay.
Maybe there's more, but I don't know. So the Christmas episode, what do you got?
So sorry, I'm just gonna say this outright. It's going to be used later again, like in actual Homestuck stuff.
Well, I would hope most of this would.
Yes, but this specific little Christmas version is going to be used directly.
Okay.
So most of this is me looking at it and going, no, all right. Seeing the base thing of it being not as weird as it will be in Homestuck is weird.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
I will let you not spoil me.
Thank you.
And I will say, the episode starts with a house under snow, wreaths of holly, Santa and reindeer. Santa is one of the examples in Baudrillard, given as an example of the hyperreal, a symbol that refers only to other symbols and systems of symbols, not to anything real. Sweet Bro, dressed up as Santa, can't get his boots on, complaining that they must have been made by immigrants. I was like, are elves the same as immigrants? Or is he saying elves are the opposite of immigrants? I don't know. In other words, he can't get his boots on. He can't bootstrap himself. He can't lift himself up imaginary stairs. Sweet Bro, his stairs are his downfall. There should be no way for him to put boots on at all because he can't go upstairs, let alone stairs of imaginary stairs. Anyway, I think the gag here ties into something I'll talk about more with the spoon panel.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that too. Yeah.
Okay. Helloooooo peers in through a vent. He appears much the same way he disappears in the Bean comic. Jeremy ends the episode as a head appearing out of a chimney. At the bottom it says, God bless us, everybody. And at the time I was like, which may be the most traditionally spelled of all lines in SBAHJ, because it's God bless us is spelled correctly, and then everybody is just missing one E. The whole thing is supposed to be kind of a parody of A Christmas Carol by Dickens, and Jeremy as Little Tim. God bless us, everyone, or each and everyone, or something. It's not everybody; it's each and everyone, or something.
Okay.
But I think that's where the line came from.
Neat.
Anyway.
Oh, wanted to note, because I just looked at it and went, oh, the specific panel that has Jeremy popping out of the chimney, there's also snow, or little circles and stuff that are meant to represent snow, I assume. But the larger circles are more towards the bottom and stuff, and the smaller circles are towards the top. And I was like, that is a weird way to do that. It almost looks as though, well, yes, maybe the snow is falling on you, but it also just kind of looks like the snow is being lifted up into the air in a way. I was like, weird.
It feels like an experience of heavy snow. Like the light snow kind of just blows around, but when it's heavy and wet, you're like, that's what it feels like. It just goes down, and like because of the way you're looking at it, you can see thicker snow when you look down because you're looking through more length than you are when you look inside. Mm-hmm. You're like, I look towards infinity, but it kind of grays out because it's snowing. Or I look towards the ground, which makes all of the stuff kind of towards the bottom look heavier. And anyway, I felt like that. I was like, that looks like an accurate representation of snow. Also, now that I look at it, it looks like Snoopy on top of his doghouse in the Peanuts comic. Just like that, with the circles of snow. Watching Snoopy with snow looks like that.
Yeah,
I'd have to look up to be sure, but
and definitely Snoopy or Peanuts does reappear back in this.
Oh yeah.
So
I now have to look up Snoopy with snow. So will you start the other one?
Yeah.
Thanks.
The next panel or next episode is the first introduction of a yellow dog.
Snoopy?
No. Hella Jeff is saying, "Hobby shit, that dog is huge." His word bubble is technically in two parts: a giant green one that's normal looking, but it's pointed towards the dog, like he should be saying it, except then assumedly Dave drew black lines and scribbled it in green words, so that was now like with an additional little arrow pointing up towards Hella Jeff, so it looks like Hella Jeff is saying it. Also, this is a different style of Hella Jeff than usual. Like here's that versus that little arrow pointed to Hella Jeff.
Okay.
Yep. Then below we see Hella Jeff staring at the dog with little eye dot lasers, pew, 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 except it kind of curves with the thought process of, he probably wants a treat. Then Hella Jeff is yelling at Sweet Bro for, "What the fuck? Is there anything you do that's not falling down that dog? Shithead." In which Hella Jeff has just fallen over the dog. Completely ass over head, with the cheapified version of him inside jams or pajamas or whatever. Yeah. I didn't have much to say on this one. I just was like, like there's weird things happening here. Like he's obviously copy and pasted over himself on this.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt.
Have at it.
And then we can talk about that, because I'm going to talk about that as a panel. And you can say, oh, that panel that you just said, instead of me trying to explain it.
Okay.
I'm going to back up for a second and show everybody one of the Peanuts snow comics.
I do not know if they will see.
Vaguely, using the same technique used by Hussey in there. Not exactly the same technique.
Then let me back up to show off the Hussey version.
Okay.
Hussey version.
Yeah, oh, dude. Hey, let's hold them up together. Shoot, I just closed it. Crap. Ugh, I'm a terrible person. All right, never mind.
Rip.
Okay, but it's the same color blue. All right.
Anyways,
so
back to the
17
one.
Nude Dog Peaches. I noticed the same thing about the Hella Jeff in the eyes. The curved lines are eye lines. They're not supposed to be curved. So I'm like, what? Let's break dimensionality. Sure. The panel. Okay, so the panel you're talking about is, there's a panel of Hella Jeff, and he is saying, "What the fuck?" or WTF? Is there anything you do that's not falling down that down that dog shithead? But the panel of his face is covered up by another panel of his face, which could be the same panel, but may not be. It kind of looks like zombie colors. And there's a small set of the same text, except for not really. The smaller set of text that's on the panel covering up the main panel says, WTF, is there anything you do that's not falling down that? And then the words kind of blurred and duplicated somewhat, shithead. Sweet Bro appears in the final panel falling down with the dog. So instead of falling downstairs, he is now falling down on top of the dog, which is called falling down dog. with the word shit hat emblazoned on his onesie. So earlier with the hot dog, hot God thing with the jelly, we know that God equals dog, or rather that the arbitrariness of saying something is either a god or a dog is kind of hyper real. So I'm saying the stairs / the dog in this panel kind of represent Sweet Bro's inability to tell the difference between a fucking dog and a fucking god. And falling down that stairs is getting caught up in the layers of language and language and language and language and language. Okay. Symbol and symbol and symbol and symbol. What he's falling down isn't stairs, it's falling into I have some kind of grounding to I don't know, I'm in a religious cult now. Okay.
Okay. I think you pretty much took what I was gonna say about whatever I was gonna say about the whole words being duplicated down here thing. So
yeah.
I think we're good on this panel then.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else you want to say about it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm good.
18. The blurry Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff one with the spoon episode.
The spoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So there's post-it notes with a little face bubble of Hello Jeff.
He has yellow hair.
Yeah, it's really weird yellow hair.
Okay. Do you know what the yellow hair for something?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I was like, is this a spoiler? Is this another one of those things where, like, if it's dark hair, it's Andrew Hussey. If it's yellow hair, it's I don't know.
I mean, maybe Dave is saying it because he's got he's got technically blonde and stuff. But
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, wanted to say it reminds me of a thing that became a meme but was not originally a meme, called "You've Got to Be Kidding Me" from Arthur, the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's on the website they had an interactive thing that was like Arthur saying a problem, and then you had 3 options for each person saying something and being like, hey, here's how you should respond to this moral situation or whatever, and being like, wow, the problem being like, oh no, I found out about my birthday party early kind of thing. What should I do? And one of the responses would be like, you should just not go to the party. Fuck them kind of thing. Well, not exactly that, but it reminded me of that because it's got the little circle bubbles and also this, which looks like a Post-it note and the problem being inside of it. But
show the screen.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I can describe that quickly.
All right.
Thanks.
It became a meme of basically making the problems into something silly. So like, my mom is taking baths with me and it's kind of uncomfortable. I'm not sure what to do about this. And one of the solutions is, I'll take a bath with your mom. And then it devolved into basically the person who was like, I'll take a bath with your mom becoming, yes, I'm going to go ahead and have sex with your mom and become your new dad kind of thing.
We've covered that, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So just that kind of silly devolvement kind of thing. But reminded me of this because it literally does the same thing of trying to give a solution to the problem, which in this case is putting in the spoon into a drawer, but fucking it up majorly, and then being distracted by the whole your mom thing of your mom sex joke.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether this would all tie together at the end, but here we are. Okay. Valid. All right, what I got? Trying to get the spoon back in the drawer.
Oh, wait, side note, there's the same milk carton with the...
Yes, I was just going to say that. Tiny Hawk has reappeared. Okay, so this whole sequence reminded me, because I have a different cultural reference, of Renee Magritte's painting, the one that says "Ceci n'est pas un pipe," which has, it's got a picture of a curved pipe, which shows up later. And underneath it in French, it says, "This is not a pipe," because it's an image of a pipe. It's not actually a pipe. And the name of the painting is called "The Treachery of Images." Yep. It's a Sherlockian pipe for sure. I think the reason that the drawer and the spoons are not getting along is that they are both 2D images on slightly separate planes, much like layers in Photoshop. Like, you're not going to be able to get the one thing in the other thing because there's no 3D dimensionality. You can only move them in relation to each other in an illusory way.
That kind of reminds me of like mental health stuff. People being like, why aren't you doing the thing? Like with ADHD, and being like, I literally cannot do the thing. It is impossible for me to do the thing. You're looking at this from the outside and cannot see that I physically cannot put the spoon into the drawer. Right. It just can't happen.
And like spoons as mental health spoons. Yeah, okay.
Makes sense. I don't know if that thing came about in the 2000s and stuff, like early 2000s.
I don't think so, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, how that ties all together, I don't know, but it really does.
Yeah.
The other thing that it reminded me of, because the trying to make 3D things happen in two-dimensional space, it reminds me of a book called Flatland by Edwin Abbott. And it's about, he was a minister, Christian minister, and it's really about how God can exist and still be paradoxical from our point of view, and not in the sense of God knows everything and God allows evil to exist, although perhaps on some level that is reconciled. But Edwin Abbott is saying that the universe is two-dimensional, and if we three-dimensional objects approach a sketch, we can do things to the sketch that look miraculous or paradoxical to the things inside of that two-dimensional space. There's also a really, really clever way, I think, if I remember correctly, of putting together a two-dimensional object so that it can has a digestive tract and doesn't come apart. I was like, okay, that's clever. The whole God thing is one thing. Not sure I buy the extension of the metaphor, but putting together a two-dimensional shape that cannot come apart when you pull on it and it has to digest. Okay, good. Let's see if there's anything in there. Something else I noticed. Sweet Bro has the carton of milk. Helloooooo has the bowl and glass. Neither one of them has the milk or the cereal. Sweet Bro has the spoon. So, like, they're not in the same plane of reality. They don't interact much the way the drawer and the spoon don't interact. But each one of them needs those separate pieces in order to get some goddamn breakfast. Okay. And then I noted that Helloooooo gets distracted by Sweet Bro's mom's ass. A constant downfall.
Yep.
All right. 19?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have much to say here. Basketball player 1, Helloooooo, forgetting that he is not the referee, acts as the narrator, stopping the basketball player's actions in order to introduce a very special moment about AIDS. And there's an NBA logo in the lower left.
Oh, I completely missed that, actually.
It's very much a commercial. Yeah, I was trying to separate things out. And I was like, the holiday episodes are kind of like holiday episodes in an ongoing TV show. The AIDS thing is kind of like a very special episode about whatever. So yeah. I marked it as a special episode before I broke down, and I was like, I can't sort these all
out. This specific panel, a thing, reminded me of 2000s, like the DARE programs and things, of where they'd be like, yeah, let me just talk to you about this stupid ass thing in the stupidest way, but we're using a celebrity, so you'll pay attention and stuff. So in this case, I could not actually find an image of this, surprisingly, but I do remember them being like, yeah, I'm just going to have this chair specifically turned around so I can lean on it, so you know that it's like really important what I'm saying. Yeah. Like this exact pose used all the fucking time for this, and I'm just like, why can I not find this Because, man, this is just ingrained in my head.
Dare was fucking trippy. Like, I didn't, when I was a kid, there was the initial phases of Dare or whatever came before Dare, before it got called Dare. I forget which. But it was kind of gross and guilt trippy, but not anything. Like, the program that you went through, when you brought home materials, it was like a copy of a copy of a copy, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Are they trying, like, I remember having this conversation with you. I was mostly ranting, but I was like, are they trying to encourage you to take drugs? Because that's all I can get from this. But that was kind of like sex ed with you too. I was like, are they trying to get people pregnant? It seems like it.
I am remembering a documentary talking about how exactly their program failed, and was like, someone was doing backings of this and being like, it isn't actually about Dare and stuff. They were backing it for some other weird, stupid reason.
Yeah, and didn't they, like, one of the people involved get arrested for child porn or something? Yeah. Oh man. Like, this whole thing was predicated on some sort of corrupt bullshit, and we just don't know what. We know there's a conspiracy going on. Do we know what it is? No, other than the fact that it's the obvious thing that's out in the open right now with, like, Trump and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to number 20.
The beginnings of the advertisement.
Really? I went the advertising arc 20 through 22.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing else that could be said for this. This is just advertising this shirt. I
keep clicking on the go to the Homestuck store button to see if these shirts exist, and it's currently down though, so I can't tell you.
Like, I'm pretty sure these shirts exist, but I can't 100% say for sure.
At any rate, 20. Advertising a bright yellow shirt with "I warned you about stairs, bro" on it. I told you, dog. And Jeremy, I keep calling him Jeremy in the lower right corner. The mysterious figure from the bottom of panel 8, the little black and white widget thingy. He appears on the lower left, and a part of a Tony Hawk image on the right. I'm not sure what that all adds up to, other than like stealing identity through advertising.
Yeah. As an aside, I had been looking at the extreme zoom kind of thing. This, and I was like, that must be a magnifying glass for this whole thing, except it's like a globe and then the little magnifying glass.
I wonder if it's an icon from something.
I have no idea. But point being, I was like, oh my god, that's not what I thought it was.
Like, I'm tempted to say, like, what if it's like an early Google search something or other, but or like an early search engine type thing with the magnifying glass, because that seems like it would be it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Point being, went, whoa, weird. Also, there's just a random yellow square. Yeah, you're not going to see that. Yellow square here in the corner of the Jeremy section. Just randomly out there.
And yeah, okay. Things that you noticed that I would never process. All right.
Next page.
Okay. 21, more advertising. Also, the shirt, called a short, glows in the dark.
Glows
in the dark. Also, the short actually does not glow in the dark. And the first panel says it does, the second panel says it doesn't, and it vibrates. To find out which thing is true, buy this shirt. So, usually advertising overpromises and underdelivers, much like the Tom Waits song "Step Right Up," which ends up with "the large print giveth and the small print taketh away." This is more like the Schrodinger's cat of advertising.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Like, it's a mystery, therefore you must open the little character collection box, whatever those are.
Mystery boxes, maybe.
Mystery box.
Yeah, I was just thinking the whole Schrodinger's cat thing. I don't have much else to say about this whole thing, though.
All right, 22. You go first.
Okay. This is a very green panel of the economy Barack Obama from before.
We're terrified that the economy will fall because there's a black president.
Oh! But also in the same thing.
Alert, it didn't.
No. There's also like a underneath that things are rising and skyrocketing in prices, and so it's basically paradoxical and stuff.
Panasonic $99.
You know, I'm not gonna say that it's not an influence on that song. I'm gonna be honest here.
Okay, it just reminded me of the same category of thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underneath it all says, "I forgot the point I was making," which right there.
Oh. Okay. I read that like 3 times and I missed the extra O in forgot, and I was like, yes, this is the only section that is perfectly spelled. We're probably back to God bless us everybody, because there's only one letter dropped and there's no wrong letters or duplicated letters. Okay.
Having the green skin thing, I was thinking about Shrek, but I was like, why would it be Shrek? I have no idea. But it just feels like with how Barack Obama has been so changed to be green and stretched out and stuff, something weird is going on here, and it's referencing something, but I'm not sure what.
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, the paint can one.
Yeah.
Or tomato cans. No?
Yeah, the tomato cans
Yeah.
one. Okay. Like just there were pictures. He would do like 9 pictures of Marilyn Monroe with different colors and very slight distortions in every single picture. So you're like going like hunting around, going spot the difference for each of the pictures. And he was just going like, this is an icon. This isn't a person. This is an idea. This is art. Their entire existence is art, and then completely divorced from whatever reality is underneath.
Yeah.
So Andy Warhol's in the same category of image or reality.
Damn. Okay, sorry. Side note. Reread the whole Hussey saying that the Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff is so utterly entwined with Homestuck that you can't, if you don't understand Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff, you can't understand Homestuck. Looking at it this in depth with you and stuff, it definitely makes me understand why he said that, even if he said it in the most pretentious way that he usually does.
Is it pretentious, or is it honest, or is it making fun of pretension? There's no longer a difference. It is
Good
jesting.
luck.
He is jesting.
Yes.
Okay.
But it just really hit me with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ooh.
All right, what you got to say?
Nothing much, really.
Ooh.
That was about it. You covered it.
Do you want to go to the next one then?
Yes, Halloween episode.
Halloween.
I do not know where the vampire/pumpkin images are from. It looks like some kind of ad. Did you know?
They kind of look like Spirit Halloween stuff.
They do, but
like,
I don't know.
Not this one, the pumpkin one. I have no idea where that one's from. That looks like an old 2000s. This would be sparkling GIF or something. But the vampire, I'm like, that looks like it would be Spirit Halloween. The
would you look
advertisement? Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So there's Hello Jeff with dark hair, who's apparently going to suck your blood. I don't know if that means it's Hussey or not, but it's black hair and not just like that brownish reddish color.
That's a no on the Spirit Halloween.
Sweet Bro is inordinately terrified by the vampire. Screams, and it fills up an entire row, and then holds a gun at Hello Jeff, and the nachos are still falling between them. This reminds me of Problems With and the candy corn teeth, because vampire. The lower right hand of the comic is Hello Jeff sleeping, dreaming all of this, but still bloodstained. So there's a crossing over between dreams and reality. And I went, should I mark this one color for Halloween episode, or should I mark it a different color for stuff that happens in dreams? I don't know. This episode, I think, a lot of the comics, I was having trouble going like, what is this pointing towards specifically? I don't know. But this one I went, okay, So this episode is like the real reaction versus a movie reaction. Sweet Bro gives a valid movie or valid real life reaction to seeing a fucking vampire.
Shooting it in this case.
Right. Or just screaming his head off and then shooting at it. It feels like coward-like and excessive here because we're so used to seeing movies where people are like, I can handle this. But no, he's just like loses his shit.
Yeah.
It feels over the top as a storytelling device, even though in real life that's what you would probably do. It probably should do. Is like call for help by screaming really loud. Yeah.
It's like those hey, if you're dealing with a problem, instead of yelling, ah, problem or something, you scream, fire, fire! And people will come because they're more likely to come because of fire and stuff. Or because that's a dealable problem.
Yeah, fire requires collective action to put out. If you're getting raped, like stay away, or you could get raped too. That does not require collective action to solve, and it might bring you into contact with the rapist, who might be somebody you know. So, shenanigans.
Yeah. Anyways, there's that. I'm not allowed to actually talk about this chapter.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on.
Thank you.
The skater arc begins on episode 24.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
With a brick wall. Well, not brick wall. A brick fence post that he leans on here, which we will see again later.
As an intact brick construction. Anyway, okay.
He acts very coolly in this panel, but I don't actually understand why he's acting so coolly. I'm just like, are you being possessed by Tony Hawk or trying to pretend you're Tony Hawk?
That's why I was like, oh yeah. He doesn't skate. I think the key on this panel is what is missing from this picture. He's not skating. He gives us no evidence that he is cool or that he skates. We're just supposed to know that he is skating. He's a skater because he's holding a skateboard, and that he is cool because he is leaning.
That kind of reminds me how like someone might hold a cigarette or something vaguely cigarette-like to pretend, yes, I am so cool kind of thing. Except in this case, instead of a cigarette or something, it's a skateboard. Just that same kind of vibe of, I'm so cool.
Yeah. So it's the signifier, the sign, the simulation of coolness. He's like the little kid, but he is like, I'm so cool. Are you cool? Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah. So it's that. I think that's what's going on. It's a simulation of coolness and not actual skating ability. Okay.
Side note, I once had a skateboard, never learned how to use it, but I had it because someone broke into our house and like left it there.
The skateboard, yeah.
And I was like, I hate these people. I'm just gonna keep this skateboard kind of thing. Yeah.
You took so much of our stuff. All right. Why they left the skateboard, we may never know.
No.
Anyway.
Oh, they also smoked a lot too.
25.
Anyways. Okay. 25.
Okay.
Technically, he is skating, but technically, that's not skating at all.
Describe what's going on. You can't just say that.
Okay. There is first a very blurry word of continued for continued and stuff. And then we see the Hella Jeff from when he was in his bathtub from the taking a picture of the nachos. And he's saying, and there he goes, we have, and then Sweet Bro is standing in his pajamas on the skateboard, lift off, and he's slowly rising into the clouds and stuff. Pachoo! There's no actual pachoo on there, that's me adding that on there, sorry.
Sound effect.
Yes. And one of the clouds is labeled clown.
CLOUN.
At the bottom of the clown panel is still Hella Jeff on the left talking about the we have kind of thing, and on the right is Jeremy. And then underneath all of that is again the Sweet Bro's mom, and they're both looking at Sweet Bro's mom. In this case,
Choice ass.
Choice ass. Doof, are you scoping this bitch's choice ass, Jeremy? Again.
Okay. 24 ends on to be continued, and 25 starts on continued.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go on a tangent here that I was like, this is going to end up being bullshit, but I was like, oh God, this actually does loop back in a good way.
Okay.
The spelling actually reminds me of Jean Cocteau, who is a French surrealist.
Okay.
And also an avant-garde artist.
Okay.
And his most famous movie is a black and white version of Beauty and the Beast that very, 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 very clearly Disney's Beauty and the Beast stole from.
Oh.
Right and fucking left. All over the place. Like the living decor, that's where that came from.
Wow.
Yes. So he's avant-garde. Avant-garde gets used for being hoity-toity and intellectual, but it really just means ahead of its time, or ahead of the old guard, avant-garde. So I would say Hussey overall is being avant-garde in some ways. But he's also building a tradition of avant-garde artists. So he's both being weirdly traditional and building off a lot of references, because we've got a lot of stuff to bring up, and also going off on his own, as particularly, I think, with Sweet Bro and Helloooooo, his just like stuff is broken down to a point where I don't know of any place else that has gone this completely fucking nuts. But the avant-garde tradition, since about the 1920s, which is when the avant-garde term came into place, and surrealism as well, it basically started out with people going, what the fuck is this commercial ass shit?
Okay.
So, I forgot, didn't write down who said this, but it's basically that avant-garde is going like, what the fuck is this commercial shit? And surrealism is going, we're going to combine the real and the dreamlike into an absolute reality, a surreality. And so we're back to the hyper-real stuff, but it's called surrealism back then. And this was way before the simulacra and simulation stuff. So that was simulacra and simulation was 1980. Surrealism was like in the 1920s. Like Dali was a surrealist. He was a late surrealist, but he was a surrealist. He's also like, don't call me a surrealist. Only he wasn't French, he was Spanish. Never mind. I'm bad at this. Sweet Bro can now skateboard, but only in the sense of being able to fly away. He lifts off like the basketball player in the earlier fractal measurement thing. And he rises into the sky past the clowns. I was like, go ahead and just call it. It's a cloud. Like, bok, bok, the nose clown. Helloooooo and Geronimo, dissatisfied with a fucking miracle, return to Sweet Bro's mom's choice ass. Okay. That's what I got for that.
Okay. I don't actually have anything to add myself.
Okay. 26?
26.
Do you want to start?
Yes. This is another one that I don't have much to say about.
Okay.
I will warn you now.
All right.
And this Sweet Bro is shaving off of his grown beard thing. And a mirror that fucks up originally, and he scribbles that out to do another mirror and stuff. But he is doing his shaving directly over Helloooooo, who was like, dude, what's wrong with this picture, kind of thing, right as he's sleeping because he's in the bed. The room itself is here's a window with curtains and stuff. And it kind of reminded me of Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Really?
Yeah.
I went somewhere else, but also reminded me of a childhood thing.
Is it the Goodnight book?
Ha
ha ha.
Goodnight Moon.
Goodnight Moon. I'm going to write down Harold and Purple Crayon.
But valid. There's a lot of purple in this particular comic.
Yes. But I also remember we're first seeing Harold's room. His room is also not really inside, but not really outside, in the same way of having a being able to see the outside world with the grass and stuff. But there's also the window and stuff, and yeah, he draws everything, but it's not really a room, but it's not a room.
Yep. Okay, what I got on this one? Morer. Sweetbro shown in 3 panels. The real, a mirror that is not reversed the way a normal mirror reflection would be reversed, and an actual mirror that's been reversed.
Mm-hmm.
The middle one is scribbled up as a mistake. He shaves his beard. The stubble falls out of the panels, falls across panels, and into Sweetbro's actual reality. So I'm presuming, because usually when Sweetbro is dreaming like that, it's because Sweetbro, or when Hella Jeff is dreaming like that, it's because whatever is preceding it is the dream that he's having. So to me, it's coded as inside of Hella Jeff's dream, Sweetbro shaves. The shaving material, or the stubble, falls out into Hella Jeff's reality. And Sweetbro, at the same time, is dreaming of shaving himself and falls out of the panel onto Hella Jeff. So whose dream is it anyway?
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
It is irreconcilable, and one of those things that is done kind of like this is not a pipe, to suggest that the act of making images is not supposed to be taken as equivalent of real. You're not supposed to go, here is a dream within a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It is going, here's a dream within a dream,
mm-hmm.
but it's the same dream within a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is the real one? There's none of these things are real. It's a hyper real. Each thing references to each other. Anyway, okay. All right, 2 thumbs up. Got it. 2 thumbs up means spoiler alert.
Sorry. Look, Sweetbro and Hella Jeff is really filled with spoilers, and I'm trying my best here.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
27.
Our next one is on going to church, with a very greenified church bell and a very red door for the church and stuff, and going dong with the same kind of dong being the gradient of the desert stuff, except now the gradient is reversed upside down. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ha. Okay.
It's also angled weird. There's a... Oh. It just says grass. I thought there was something weird. All right. Okay. Inside the church, they have several really cool looking windows and stuff,
mm-hmm.
but none of them are actual stained glass windows you would normally see inside of a church. There's no people on them or anything. Mm-hmm. Like, this might be at the back behind the pedestal at most, but probably not.
I have more information on that. I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay. They're both sitting on pews or pewns, but they're both also still wearing their jammies. They've been doing so throughout this whole thing. Then we see Sweetbro turning around to look at Hella Jeff and is completely dissatisfied with Hella Jeff's way of praying and stuff. And his speech bubbles no longer turn into speech bubbles. They go from post-it note to post-it note with a pin in it to 2 post-it notes to further and further development. No longer is this actually a word bubble. It's now a notebook that he's writing on.
I see. And across.
Mm-hmm. And it goes further. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we devolve into fractal attempts to fix
mm-hmm.
Hella Jeff.
Into an error or something I would see in glitchcore, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, should I try you remember the 3D things where you'd like let your eyes slightly cross and stuff would pop out? I was mm-hmm. like, should I let that happen? But then I'm like, no, that gives me a headache. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no, I've never successfully done it myself, so I can't answer that either.
Okay, so it might be a 3D image that's evolved, but we're unwilling to take the risk at this time.
Or physically unable.
Okay.
Either way.
church episode, I'm like, the church looks like an erect penis and ball sack. And that red door is actually a butthole. Anyway.
I did not get that myself, but all right.
The bell rings dong. It's a dong.
Okay.
Okay, so the window, it looks like a rose window.
Okay.
And the colors are specifically the colors of the rose window at the Notre Dame church in Paris. I got a link to a picture so you could look at it yourself. Rose windows have come to mean two things. One, the more traditional one is the rose window that faces west. So Catholic churches, weird thing. The front doors usually face east or west, and I can never remember which one it is. But I think they face east to let in the light of like a morning. And the west is good for evenings because the light comes in through that. If the rose window is facing west, which I believe it is with the Notre Dame, then it means it's a symbol of the apocalypse.
Okay.
This gets into the fucking weird math shit. Okay, so there's an image somewhere of Jesus sitting at the center of the rose window. So if you look back at the picture, so the center of the round flowery part is supposed to be where Jesus sits, and then around that are supposed to be X number of apostles or whatever. And often the little lobes of the flower thing, they're all equal loops and not round mini flowers. And they at each of the end of each of the loops is some sort of like zodiac symbol or other symbols of like this is a planet. And so it is a meditative wheel for people who are doing the art of memory thing where they're calculating out the universe and trying to influence God. At the time where these churches were built, the Gothic revivalism, there was a lot of alchemy shit going on. So there's that. And then later on, as these windows were broken and replaced for one reason or another, a lot of the fucking Gnostics had taken up like masonry and practical building stuff because they wanted to build their ideas into being. So there's a lot of churches in Great Britain that have like pyramids with eyes in them and shit like that. Like all kinds of weird conspiracy shit that's really just points back to these idiots with we're going to calculate out how God sees the universe and therefore will influence God. So all this stuff was kind of hidden in plain sight for a while as the people who once got burnt at the stake became the people building the churches.
Okay.
Anyway, so having a rose window here, I think indicates the apocalypse. It's just they're there for Homestuck reasons. The more modern version of it is they refer to the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, who is called the mystical rose of creation because the Virgin Mary was supposedly, it's not that she never had sex, it's that she was born without the original sin, which is supposedly coded into all of humanity. Somehow she is the fucking miracle that was not. So like, she is the thing that is not in reality. She is more real than real. Anyway.
Shenanigans.
Sweet Bro tells Hella Jeff he's praying wrong. Hella Jeff is looking heavenward and just saying God with a pleased expression on his face, only his hands are separated like this.
Reverent more so than
Gnostic.
Oh.
And Sweet Bro is like, no, you gotta put your hands together, and has the same sort of issues that he has with the fucking spoon in the drawer. He's in a different plane of Hella Jeff is in a different plane of existence at that moment.
It also is the whole basketball thing of trying to get him to rotate the ruler and stuff again.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, the ruler is like, we're not a dimensionality problem again.
And it also does the same fractal stuff too.
Yep. So there's a repetition. That's pretty cool.
Yay.
All right, so let us cluster 28, 29, and 30 as advertising ones.
Okay.
Because they are all shirt stuff.
Yes. I'm going to be honest here. I don't have much to say on the shirt stuff, both because of spoiler things and because, wow, I do not understand it.
Okay. I don't have much to say about it either. I just noticed that um, the on 28, I think the figure of the basketball player is Magic Johnson, but I'm not entirely sure. And then on 29, it says here's a picture of the shirt in all of its glow in the dork glory.
This one?
Yep. It's glow in the dork. And then 30 is the one for when Hella Jeff drives off with a car and tries to sink it in the lake and fails miserably.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I would want as a shirt. The glow-in-the-dark version of that shirt glows brightly enough that it confuses the owl from the dream sequence.
That's what that was? Okay.
Yes.
I was like, what is that?
That's the owl.
Okay. But great job. Yeah, I missed that.
So, good night, moon.
Good night,
the owl is like, this shirt is as bright as the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that codes.
Anyways, on to the next one.
31. Sports. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
We're starting off. I'm not going to talk about what he's saying in this. Hella Jeff is making some popcorn, and then he's looking at, after he's made the popcorn, a TV which has a bunch of football players all piling onto top of each other over and over and over to make a little pyramid kind of thing. And then he looks at it and goes, aha, the sport pile doesn't stop from getting taller kind of thing. And there's also a ruler next to the sport pile.
Aha!
Mm-hmm. Except this time, the ruler is going upwards. Unlike how in the previous sport stuff we've seen, it's always going this way.
Yep. That's nice.
Yeah. So...
Uh-oh.
There is a kind of multimedia thing, but it's definitely a story. It is called both 17776. There's 3 sevens in there. But it's also called What Football Will Look in the Future Like in the Future.
Okay.
Yes. It's something that includes reading it, calendar panels, videos, GIFs, etc.
Okay, so multimedia for sure.
Yes. Kind of like Homestuck in that way, I guess. But it is basically about how satellites are watching a football game, except this is in the future, and humans have become A, immortal, and B, infertile. So they're just exceedingly bored with their immortality and are going really crazy. So now the football fields are like thousands of miles long, and you have game inside of a game inside of a game inside of a game. And the only way that they could actually watch these games are by having sentient satellites watching all of this and stuff, making commentary both on that as well as other human philosophy things. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. I did not get through this for that. I just was like, oh God. So it may be something.
And this is someone who's read Homestuck.
This may be something you might enjoy, but boy, howdy, did it get so over my head. I'm like, I just can't do this anymore.
Okay. It sounds like it's one of those, the map equals the territory thing. Like it's a game, but it's the entirety of existence is that game. So it's no longer a game.
Exactly. Okay. So yeah, you're right on the money. It's just some kind of...
We're pretending to fight. No. We're really fighting.
Mm-hmm.
No. So we're not really fighting. We're all pretending to fight. Shit.
But that in itself reminded me of a completely different look at what humans will be like in the future. God, I forgot to look up the name of this one. It's humans being altered by aliens and stuff. So now that the humans look more like different species of aliens, being like, here's one that's kind of floats like a jellyfish and stuff, and just kind of all kinds of really weird things, or looks like a bird. But it just is like looking at humans in the future, how we will change, and the same way that evolving, but also B, if immortality really did work out, and assumedly that we continue on into space and continue onwards, it'll fuck us up so that we're no longer human in the same way. To do things like really fucked up football and stuff. I don't know.
There's a lot of sci-fi that falls into this, so I'm not sure what specifically you're talking about, or even if I know it, because I'm like, wow, it's a trip.
Okay. I'll try and find that out.
Okay.
But my brain went off in tangents and on that and stuff rather than specifics. We're going to stay on this specific Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff panel.
Okay. 32 and 33, I'm going to group together as skateboarder panels.
Oh, okay.
32, brick wall. I was like, this looks like the wall from the skateboarder sequence. And it says the comma end at the end of that. And I was like, clearly no.
Sorry, I accidentally hit newest panel thing.
Okay. And then on 33, skater Sweet Bro bursts through the wall, bricks flying everywhere, while a godlike fist is pursuing him. Finally, he does one actual legit skater move, which is grinding down a zipper. And then he asks you who you're expecting the Toothberry. He's very cool. He leans against a ledger, which is a record of actions. I was like, I don't know what the deal is on these two, but they definitely are related to the skater thing. And
like he was leaning really on the panel and stuff. Yeah.
Is he still really skating? Because he pulled one move, does that count as I'm actually skating?
But he was definitely in the clouds again.
Yeah.
Shenanigans it
is.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say other than going.
French surrealists. There's the hyper real of Baudrillard in the 1980s, and today it's just shenanigans.
Rachel, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray.
Because like every time we come up and there's like no way to tell exactly what's going on, you're just like shenanigans. Okay.
Look, I just put them under the umbrella and say, good enough.
Good enough. Gen Z these days, they don't put up with debate. They're just like, yeah, this debate is useless. It's shenanigans. Got it.
The next panel or next page, if you want to do that.
You do that.
Okay. This is the 420 page. He's holding a spoon here. He's like, yeah, why won't this Monday end? But he's still holding the spoon, assumedly from the previous time of holding the spoon. But a very, even more chibi-ified version of
Hella Jeff.
God, yeah, I just give up. Hella Jeff, the blue one. He's like shrunk down at this point and saying, ah ha ha, it's Tuesday, you fat nasty trash and stuff. And then a giant wall of white and stuff to go stund underneath that, and then a bunch of 420 gifts, and the red one being in front of the 420 ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet Bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really understand why it's 420 at this point. I've just given up on being like, yes, it's just at this point the same way that 69 is the sex number. Like, I understand, yes, 69 is a sex position and stuff, but why that one specifically is now forever known as the sex position or the sex number and stuff. And going from there, I'm just like, it doesn't matter at this point. It is just the meme at this point.
Okay.
The same way in my brain, it's doing that with the 420 and stuff. But I was also at the same point being like, I think Snoop Dogg has kind of become like that to me. Like, he's his own real person and all that kind of stuff, but he's kind of become like the Monroe of smoking weed.
Or like the Tony Hawk.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk of smoking weed. He is an image at this point for smoking weed and stuff. You're like, it is one and the same. He's not actually included in this panel or page or anything. But we've definitely seen him for like in actual Homestuck being like, yes, he's put all over the place, or like in Problem Sleuth and stuff. I'm just don't know actually what's the point of it being here other than the whole, hey, we're having the special episode for 420 here kind of thing.
Okay. I think it's anti-capitalist memes. So Monday, the day where you have to go back to work if you're working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So Stoned, Sweet Bro says, this Monday will never end. So he's taking weed, and this is just maybe me being judgy because I don't smoke weed. I'm not against it as such, just I grew up in the context that I did, and I won't smoke weed because of stuff like this. The distraction of the weed distracts him from the misery of existence under like the structure of Monday to Friday. Hella Jeff goes, ha ha ha, it's Tuesday. Things progress. Presumably they go forward in time. And we end up at cryptocurrency because those aren't just coins. Those are spinning crypto style coins. And cryptocurrency is like a copy of a copy of a copy when it comes to money. Like money itself is a copy of value because money has no value other than what's assigned to it. Even if you go, money is a copy of gold, gold has no fucking value other than what's assigned to it and the fact that it doesn't tarnish. And it's not about being pretty so much as it is, it doesn't degrade, which makes it valuable in like making shit. But like water has value, gold less so. And even silver's just like chemically important, if anything. But you get to crypto and you're like, what does crypto point to? Money points to like the issuing country that issues that money. How valuable is their overall economy and how likely are they to kill you? We have value because we can fucking blow you to smithereens. The end. That's why dollar is supreme right now, because the country most likely to kill you is the US. Or most likely to be able to kill you is the US. And crypto, what is crypto attached to? The only thing crypto is attached to is the black market. So what meaning does crypto have? Human trafficking, maybe? That's about it. But it's a discrete way to trade things that are illegal. Weed's illegal in most of the US and was illegal in even more of the US in 2009. It's artificial and fake. It's an NFT.
Sorry, side note, this is a really good loop on this, by the way. Like it's just seamless, and there's so many things that are going on at the same time. I would expect it to be like sudden a jump of, whoa, that didn't loop correctly, but no, it's just full time. I'm just like, oh.
And if you look at it really closely, it's very difficult to tell which way any of those are turning. Anyway.
Look at my gift, boy.
Boy, I say boy.
All right.
Okay.
Next one is the subway panel.
The subway panel. I think like the last legit actual Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff comic is Mondays. I think it's 34. When we get into 35 and beyond, we are now like zoo smells and shit like that. Okay. We are referring to other Andrew Hussey comics. He's just finishing up some thoughts and clearing his mental buffers by giggling hysterically.
Yes.
Okay.
Rather than being major plot spoilers.
Yeah, because I don't have like much deep for these other than to go, yes, it's connected to this other comic. So 35 points toward zoo smells. And we've discussed zoo smells before, so I'm not going to go back on it again. 36, another zoo smells one. 37, Easter to Sunday, another holiday episode.
With also more weed at the bottom.
Yep, more weed at the bottom. There's more of the images are artificial thing because Jeff hatches from the egg and also gets put underneath his own butt. So it's like paradoxical there.
Yeah.
The episode is sponsored by budsandbabes.com, which is not a live link. 38, we get into Peanuts territory. The chibi versions are playing football, just like Charlie Brown and Lucy. The Hussey gives an example comic strip from actual Charlie Brown Peanuts stuff, which gets distorted. Then we see the version of that with Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff pulls away the football, and Sweet Bro ascends into the heavens and gets shredded by a helicopter.
Yeah.
So I went, because I'm pretentious as shit, to have the football of meaning taken away from us is to be simultaneously transcendent and dead. D-E-D, dead.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what he meant, but I was like, this is satisfying to me. 39. There is no comic in the list for this. It's just blank. No comic.
But it is this one.
Is it?
This one? Yeah.
39? No,
it's 40. Never mind.
That's 40. There skips one. It skips it in the list. And it skips it in the panel.
Okay.
I had to go through that 3 times. I'm like, why is my numbering fucking off?
Okay.
So it is a non-comic. It is Moo.
Moot.
M-U, Moo.
Moo.
As 40, as humanimals, as chibi humanimals, which is even worse. Hella Jeff sniffs Sweet Bro's butt. I did not know that he yiffs his butt. I didn't know that yiff was porn content of furry characters. Now I do. I think Ray told me once and I forgot. But at this time, today, I was like, yiff. That's got to be something. So I Urban Dictionaried it and was enlightened. If that is the word.
Yeah, I 100% had not realized you did not know what yip was. It's in my brain under the same category as yaoi paddles and stuff.
I know what yaoi is.
Okay.
I don't know what yaoi paddles are. Do I really want to know?
Okay. Tumblr's early stages and stuff, they had the whole FashCon, a convention of where people would come into it and for Tumblr stuff, and that one majorly fucked up. That whole convention, due to several things out of people's control, and also the people who are making the event were just young and all that kind of stuff.
Conventions implode.
Yes.
Okay.
But in this case, also, there were people who had giant wooden paddles that said yaoi on them. And whenever people were shippable or whatever, they would hit them with the yaoi paddles.
Good cosplay. Would tap that. Bang.
Yeah. It also goes under my brain the same thing as glomp, which is, I will say it once you put down the water bottle.
Okay, thank you.
Glomp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Just a full force hug kind of thing. Glomp.
Glomp. Okay.
But it's just early internet era stuff that I'm like, well, clearly everyone knows about this.
No, it's not early internet.
Not internet. Not
Tumblr
early.
Era.
Yes.
Tumblr is self-reflexive. Okay. 41. Working out. The word ripped almost turns into a zipper, the same kind of zipper that Sweet Bro grinded earlier.
I looked at that and went, wow, that's so cool.
Yep. A smaller version of Sweet Bro watches the big one work out and says, fucking incredible. I don't know. I really don't think this is what Hussey intended for this, but I was like, yes, the experience of like the child self looking at the adult self, and the child self says, we must do this thing, and the adult carrying it out because it's going to impress their child self, not because it's rational as an adult to do it. I'm like, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he intended.
No, but I'm like, oh, I feel that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, he's so strong that he's breaking out of the panel here to be buff. Because there's a panel just around his head and stuff.
Buff.
And little child version is stuck in here until he's like fucking incredible and his eyes are poking out. Yeah.
Yep. And this particular style of working out makes me think of Hugh animals, but he only has 2 legs and not 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Chess.
I wrote to myself, I wonder when there's going to be a Chess the Musical Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff parody version.
Okay, there's a musical called Chess the Musical. I adore it, so this is a joke just for me.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
it is. I also wanted to note there's something called 4D chess, for like 4-dimensional chess, which involves timelines of you make a move and that creates an alternate timeline, which can also affect time itself, and you have to go back in time to do other things, and it goes really weird and stuff to make chess stuff. But I was thinking about that because of the whole you get to do weird rule things for like he's going to throw a chess piece into the toilet and say checkmate, and I was like, there's
probably 4D chess, yeah, because it's time travel.
Playing off of the board itself no longer counts because the whole panel itself has now become the chess game. There's also a Steam game called King of the Bridge, which puts more directly into the whole making chess rules that are silly. There's a goblin on the bridge, and the only way to cross that bridge is by beating him in chess, in reference to the whole you have to solve a riddle to get across the bridge and stuff. There's a really silly way to end the game early and stuff, and that's by picking him up and putting him onto a duck because of one of the chess rules that he makes himself. And he just floats off into the water.
And you're like, I'm listening in autism and playing. Okay, very cool.
Thank you.
Chess stuff. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about that. You covered it. Rock solo or soul bow. Hella Jeff plays what looks like a bass guitar, a note which extends into infinity. Then he makes a face with either a mandala or a fractal hiding kind of behind his nose.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the noise being referred to here is Om, the noise before the universe existed.
Oh.
It's also considered sometimes a name of God. So, just as the Christians are like, hey, let's go insane and do this whole Gnostic thing. Then you get to the stuff like Om, and you're like, yes, there's a noise that you can make in your nose, which if you do it accurately enough, influences the universe. Like, okay, but no, but yes, but no.
So that's why they always are like putting that in meditation shit.
Okay. Yeah, and like really what it is your sinuses get cleared out and you feel better because like, oh God, I can breathe. And like, I'm not just feeling stuffy, you know, and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm open to the universe, and your body gets on like I do chakra stuff all of the time, going like, okay, if I'm in alignment, I suffer less. But I don't go, and therefore can influence the universe. I go, yeah, this is the way bodies are supposed to work. I just slouch all the time. Yeah. But you know, when you stop actually slouching and use your body the way it's supposed to, it does feel like, ooh, very cool. Transcendent even. Wow. Less of a burden. All right. 44. Unless you have something to say about 43 specifically. I think,
rodeo one?
Yeah, 43 and 44 are paired together, I think.
Okay. Pipes.
Rodeo. I think this is based on, this is the one where Sweet Bro is riding the bull, gets bucked off and pooped on. I think this is a riff or a mockery of a Buddhist koan. An ox walks past a window. You never see its tail.
Okay.
It just means the process of enlightenment, the ox walking past the window, never ends because you can never see the ox's ass. You can never see your own ass when you're trying to get insight into yourself or the nature of anything. So here, he sees his own ass and gets pooped on. I'm assuming that it's some sort of deep meditative thing because it ends with Hella Jeff playing the infinite note of the universe, which now is not Om, but wee, because it's a feedback loop. Okay. I just went like, feedback loop as the sound of the universe before there was a universe. You fucker. That's a horrible joke, but I get it.
Okay.
It's an roll your eye joke and not a ha-ha joke, but still.
Okay. The next comic is Sweet Holmes and Helloooooo.
Yay! I really like these. It's terrible.
They are the chibiest we have ever seen them. They are literally beans with legs now. They're both wearing the detective hats.
Deerstalker hats.
Yes. And smoking pipes, like was mentioned in the whole "this is not a pipe" thing that we're talking about.
That's all I got.
And they're called poops. Oh my god.
That's where the whole poop joke came from. Okay. 47, the next one after, or 46, sorry. The next one after that, Sweet Sherlock and Hella Holmes, both referring to Sherlock Holmes and not Watson is no longer here. Who put shit in Holmes's pipe? Hella Jeff says, shh, and the plot thickens. 47 is you.
Oh god. The conclusion. Forsooth, it was I who took a dump in thine pipe. And this is said in a very scroll bubble, I guess.
Ye old English.
Yes. But the word bubble itself is a scroll. Then we see a panel of
Hella Jeff pooping
directly into the pipe. His hair is now brown, the same color as the shits. I did it while you were not looking.
Is that a hussy insert? Because of the brown hair versus his normal pale color?
His skin isn't the right color.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Hence the mystery. And then underneath that is a stay tuned for the twist with a hand pointing that way.
Yep.
Next comic.
The twist, Sweet Bro was looking. Dun dun dun.
He was look kind. Look kind.
Yep.
And then we go on to the Thanksgiving episode.
Before we do that, I was really, really, really hoping, because of the pipe and the Sesame Pop and Peep thing, another Magritte element is men in bowler hats. I was hoping for the hats to turn into bowler hats and have the people fly away like Sweet Bro into the sky. But no. All right.
But Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
The turkey is now playing musical notes, and a grayed out version of Sweet Bro is saying, "Are you?" with you being crossed out first, and then another version of it of you being said, "You serious?"
Yep.
All of this is gift for the "Are you serious?" bit, but the rest of it is not gift.
Yeah, so it's like vibrating and disturbing looking.
Yeah.
I initially was like, is he a zombie? But no, it's just vibrating.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 50, Thanksgiving episode again. The turkey hole. Sweet Bro is unsurprised that Thanksgiving has turned it into a worthless joke. He's still curious about the turkey hole, though.
And it's never answered. No, we don't get an answer in that.
Okay. It's the void.
Yes.
The call of the void. Lapel de vide. Okay. I just realized this. Lapel de vide, the call of the void, literally the call of the void, is the urge to throw yourself off something, an edge of something. And Sweet Bro is like, let me fall down the fucking stairs every time too. So anyway.
Okay.
He's hearing the call of the void from the damn turkey cavern.
Okay.
All right.
Next page is Gone Froggin', which we see our first official Homestuck, or I guess in this case, Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, Frog. And apparently, yes, frogs do in fact sit on lily pads. That's not a situation of lemmings being pushed off the cliff or anything. No, they really do just sit on them.
Okay. Probably
not like all of them or anything, just
like
some of them.
Big frogs and small lily pads, but like sometimes you get the little frogs that are like peep.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, thank God that's real. I would also like to say this is one of my favorite pages at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the frog?
No.
Why?
There's here weird perspective things of him stepping. Oh, yeah. Here, interesting perspective things. Huge body, wah kind of thing to step on top of a turtle and stuff. And then he drops his net, which goes down, down, down into the depths and stuff. Such an interesting movement looking from it as it falls directly, settled into the clam mouth, which is then lassoed shut, thunk, kind of thing. I just was like, this is such a great movement for all of this whole thing. And just interesting way to move the eyes through this whole thing. And then it's still technically a panel for on the nets and stuff because it's using the same color as from above. So it's referencing up there, but it's still dropping down, down, down.
Okay, because I was just looking at it as clip art, but you were like, no, the panels themselves are falling. Okay, that's very cool.
Vaguely labyrinth in my brain.
Yep, agree.
Anything you wanted to say on that one? Okay.
All right. Gone Pragan. When he drops his net and it falls into a shell, the shell is a conch shell, which is the same kind of shell that Venus de Milo rises from in classical art. So the net that no longer will catch the frog will eventually someday become the goddess of love and beauty.
Yes. Side note, in the background of the conch shell and the very first when it's landing into there, it says big clam.
Big clam. I didn't notice that at all. And then 52. The shell becomes sentient or anthropomorphized. Anthropized and looks pissed.
And the whole panel itself has become degraded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's almost Cthulhu-esque, you could say. I'm not allowed to say more on this.
I know, but yeah, you're right. It does kind of look like the earlier sketches. All right. Got it.
Next comic.
53. I'm going to say this one because I am older than 41. You're not allowed to watch it. 41 and older. Please plug your ears if you are underage. Sweet Bro tries to wash the small yellow dog from earlier. It's grown older and much larger. And Hello Jeff gives it a blowjob. I went, a parable about religion.
Yep.
54. The same comic is degraded and overlaid with the image of a man wearing glasses staring at the viewer.
Guess who that is?
Is it Hussey?
It's Hussey! Yay! Here's an actual image of Hussey. That's what he looks like. Or back then.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then I checked after that because it wasn't clicking and I was like, manually typed in 055. No comic exists, so I let it go.
But it's probably for the best that we're ending here because we have gone 2 hours at this point.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
But I think
said enough about movie one. That's the only note that I had.
And so this ends the Sweet Bro and
we
Hell
probably should have
Jeff.
broken that into like 3 sections, but I, for one, am done with Sweet Bro and Hell
God,
Jeff.
yeah, same.
Perhaps later I will go back and go like, okay, so now the interconnections between comics make way more sense. But
and the whole parts where Ray is saying, "I can't talk about this. Finally,
I
can look at this.
I can't talk about this. Now I can't talk about this." Yeah. So at some point we should probably flip through there and go like, "Do you see this?" Yeah, I saw it. All right.
It's like a prophetic dream, except comics and stuff. And I'm like, I really want to say things, but I'm not allowed to.
Yeah,
Damn
I don't
you.
see this as a roadmap the way other things have been a roadmap. I see this as definitely a source of memes within the comic, but also anti-memes for real people.
I think you summarized that well.
Okay.
All right. Well then, thanks for joining us.
We made it.
We live.
Okay. We're all done now.
Bye.
Let's stop. Bye-bye.
Be free.
Ah.